he doing in that incident yesterday with Tim Shaw? Sean Richardson is alongside him as the safety car powers away from the 25 cars that are ready for day 2 battle in a new season of Turtle Wax Trans Ams here at Symmons Plains. This is AWC Race Tasmania, and the light's about to go out here for 22 laps around the super fast Symmons Plains Raceway, and here we go.
Mustangs lock out the top 4 positions. The race 1 winner gets through turn 2 cleanly first. Nathan Hearn's got ground though. He got past Kyle Girton. Sweet sound of Trans Am cars thundering under the Super Cheap Auto Bridge and down to the hairpin, and once again Ben Grice, cold brakes, cold tyres. Full commitment, full send around the outside. Couldn't get the move done, but he's moved up to 4th place. Elliot Barber to 5th. Here comes the champion, Nathan Hearn. Great run out of the hairpin, an early challenge to our race 1 winner. The Mustangs go wheel to wheel through the sweeper. Nathan Hearn is in the box seat here.
And watch Kyle Girton just behind as well. He's got Ben Grice just behind. He might get on the inside here at Tim Brook and does get the job done. So too does Grice. So in the blink of an eye, the 38 tradie pad entry goes back into 4th place and might lose another spot because here comes Elliot Barber.
That was really good driving from Tim Brook though. I know he lost 3 spots, but it could have been a crash. He just opened the steering. He turned the car in, but he saw that there was a car up the inside and he just straightened the car up. But what it did was cost him all his momentum. So it allowed Ben Grice to sneak through as well in the 0-3. So unfortunate for Tim, but it's better to be running 4th than buried in the sand trap.
How good was that for an opening lap? Down in through the hairpin we go. Elliot Barber pulls up for a move. Contact in the background. Morris coming in hot at the Newlon hairpin. And now we'll drop back in behind Dalton Ellery in that Super Cheap Auto number 67. A new car to the Norwell Motorplex factory team, as it's known as, for season 22.
So Ellery, whose dad ran in Super Cheap Auto colours in supercars and was on the podium at Bathurst with that, against Morris, whose dad ran in Super Cheap colours in supercars and was on the Bathurst podium. It's a funny old world, isn't it? There's a common thread there. Great battle, a couple of second, third generation drivers. The door flapping open on the Pioneer DJ car. That's Elliot Barber, first of the Chevy Camaros in the field. Young Cody Birchie just in behind. Racy stuff early in Turtle Wax Trans Am.
So Barber, who moves to the Dream Racing team this year, of the old bander back from the NASCAR days, helping with this team as he bowls a wide, and he's going to keep this just out of the gravel. The front wheels are in. He might be able to get out of this, but he'll drop to the tail of the field. And another car joining the party. That's Jackson Rice in the 37, making his debut, one of 11 rookies in this year's Trans Am field. And what a shame for Barber. A lot of work to do now to get himself back up to the pointy end as the leaders come through to complete another lap. Your reigning champion from last year took the clean sweep at the final round at Mount Panorama in December. Nathan Hearn leads from Girton, Grice, Brook and Bircher completing the top 5. Then it's Dalton, Morris, Owen Kelly up to 8th, then Johnson and Eden Thornborough in position 10.
This is a really impressive drive from the 22-year-old in 2nd position, Kyle Girton. Originally from New South Wales, but now based down in Melbourne and works full time for Blanchard Racing. Committed very late to get down the inside there of the champion. I don't know if that was entirely planned, but he's managed to get it done. They're bashing doors on the back straight at Symmons. Great racing in the Trans Am Series. It's what we know and love. Morris is off at the hairpin. It's all going off. We're about to have a change of the lead. Can he get by before the safety car may come out?
Oh, Hearn did that nicely. As there is the Super Cheap Auto car, holds him off. Morris in the gravel. We stay green for the moment. But Hearn and Girton, great piece of racing. And we're only 4 laps into this, Krause. Settle down.
How was the door bashing coming out of the hairpin? Love that. Really hard competitive racing. So unfortunately, young Nash has found himself bogged in the gravel trap. She's pretty deep up there. It's a fast approach to that very slow corner. So the safety protections are well and truly established and have been well used over the years. Waved yellow flags at the moment. No overtaking into turn 4, but no sign of the safety car at this point.
He got the fastest first sector by a considerable margin as well, so it must have been an off, and now the safety car has been called as the cars are on their way down towards turn number 5. So a chance to settle the field down now. There's a lot of hyped up drivers as well as commentators here at more drama happening now. That's Sutton, who's found the wall, and Craig Scatella. So big damage to that 321.
Sorry, Matt. Everyone's checked up. under the yellows. Everyone's got out of it when they've thrown the safety car boards and flags. I'm just throwing out a suspicion here, but we've seen it before. And the back of the field's all bunched up. And there's been some front to rear contact as everyone checks up. We'll work on getting you a replay of that. There's so much to unpick with everything that's gone on, because we had battles for the race lead. We had battles for 3rd, 4th and 5th with Cody Bircher on the back of Tim Brook, our pole sitter, and Ben Grice. Nash Morris swiped the fence out of the hairpin a couple of laps ago and lost some spots. So let's go back and unpick all of this. So McAllister there going out of the hairpin. We're looking further back. Oh,
dirt.
Yep.
He's got the dirt and has drilled the 777.
And yellow flags were already flying and the boards were out. So that's happened as the safety car's been called and the car in front has got out of the throttle. And unfortunately, the 321 car behind it, which is Sutton, and see top of screen, they're heading into their hairpin. But the boards and flags were flying, and even at the marshal point before that, they'd passed a yellow flag already. So they were well aware that there was dramas up at the hairpin. We're under safety car at AWC Race Tasmania for Trico Trans Am.
So 3 cars that are caught up in this melee. Of course, Morris on his own down had been parked for several laps, and Scatella, whose steering wheel came off at about this point yesterday. That's the reason why this car ended up on the outfield there at turn number 6. He's limping back with a fair bit of damage, but Chris Sutton's 321 car, the 55-year-old from Penrith in New South Wales, who's seen him in Radical cars and production touring cars, former Radical champion in the Shannon Series a few seasons back, having his first full season in the Trico Trans Am Series with a fair bit of damage to that 321 motor fit entry.
And all of that teed off with Nash Morris bogged in the sand, and we still working out why Nash ended up there in the first place. And I wonder if there was a side effect of that contact with the wall on the exit of the hairpin a couple of laps ago. We saw the super cheap auto car very, very sideways, and he lost some momentum. And a couple of cars yesterday whacked the fence on the outside, and it bent steering arms and it bent rear suspension. So it can have that effect of causing the car to handle poorly. I wonder if that played a role, or if there was a secondary sort of contact or incident with some overtaking that saw the young Queenslander parked up there. It's a shame, because Nash was having a really solid weekend in terms of pace and running inside the top 10.
So Brett Holdsworth has dropped down the order 2 to 23rd on our screens. He was right up towards the top 10 there before this all happened. So a fair bit to have a look at, so breathe in, because this is how it went from the start. So it was Brook and Gurton on the front rows. The 25 cars took the green flag, and it was Nathan Hearn who made the move straight away up into 2nd spot at Grice. He's got the elbows up today in that All-American driveline parts number 3.
It's a great start from Hearn, using all of that experience. Grice did this yesterday, went the long way round, just didn't get drive off the corner, but that's what Nathan Hearn did in car number 1. Brilliant power down out of the slow corner, and at that point he was alongside. Now this was critical, because see, Brook turns in, but Gurton's already committed down the inside, so just open the steering a little bit. So there's Morris, who he didn't actually hit the wall. He did hit the Mustang that was going up the inside though. So that was Dalton. This was a cool fight too. Again, Gurton getting really good drive. So Morris, that's the moment he ended up in the gravel trap. I was watching the leaders battling when that happened.
This was Sutton into Scatella, and look just behind, I think that was Jackson Rice in the 37 poking through the dust. He was lucky to keep it off the wall. So watch the right-hand side top of screen. So they come down into the hairpin, lock of brakes, Sutton into the back of Scatella, and watch the red car in the background just weave its way through. It is Rice and another car on the outside, and that was McCorkindale picking his way through Cole Trickle style at Daytona.
Started from pit lane and up to 17th position through those wild opening laps. So I'll just correct myself, the flag behind those cars wasn't flying, so they hadn't passed a yellow flag that was flying, but the one in front of them at the hairpin was definitely waving. And I'd say that contact there that involved this 777 car, it's a pretty checkered weekend, has Scatella, was just cars checking up, slowing up for safety car, which you're supposed to do, but when you're running nose to tail in a really competitive pack like that, it can often cause the concertina effect and damaged race cars. That's what we've ended up with. Lap 7 of 22. We're under safety car for Trans Am.
The Speed Series continues here at AWC Race Tasmania, and it's a bit of an end-of-season yard sale here as several cars have been put back onto tilt trays in race number 2 of the National Trans Am Series. Thanks to Turtle Wax. We're behind the safety car with Nathan Hearn out in front from Girton, Grice, Brooke and Cody Bircher as we head down to pit lane.
Thanks, guys. I'm joined by a man that Australian motorsport fans are very familiar with, Marcus Ambrose. Now, Owen Kelly had some dramas yesterday, but he's the biggest mover in the field, up to 7th, moved up 8 spots.
Yeah, we inadvertently put the wrong pads in for qualifying yesterday, so we qualified pretty deep in the pack. And then in the race, he was coming forward, and his seatbelt came loose. So he did the only thing he can do, which is pit. So if anyone ever has a problem like that in a race car, you got to pit. There's no way out. You got to pit for safety. He came in, we got the belts tight for him, got him hooked back up, didn't lose a lap. And then the cautions helped us yesterday, finished P16. So he's coming through now, but we do have some damage on the grille. That's going to allow air to come into the engine bay, which is actually going to make the car not turn as well as it should. So we're in damage control right now. We might be able to get a couple more spots, but really we've saved our tyres now for the final this afternoon, the last race of the day. So watch out for us then.
So you don't think he'll be able to move up a few more spots? I mean, he's big mover in the field, and in the action that we're already seeing, there's plenty of opportunity.
Well, look, he's a pro driver, there's no doubt. So if there's an opportunity, he will. But we do have a little bit of damage on the nose there, which is just going to really, tighten the car up. When the air gets underneath the car like that, it can make those front tyres wash out because the car's almost lifting off the ground. So it's not perfect, but Owen can probably make up for it. If we can finish somewhere, in the first 3 or 4 rows, we'll be happy. So let's just see how it works out.
Now, I've got to ask you, local Tasmanian boy, beautiful weather, sun's out, great to see so many people here. How good is it?
It's great. I love Tasmania, and I really love the Tasmanian motorsport scene. We're not a huge state population-wise, but we've got a couple of great tracks in Symmons Plains and Baskerville. It's just great to see this track supported and to see the mainland competitors come down and compete. We hope this happens to kick off the season for years to come. It's a great way to start the year.
Oh, thanks for the chat, mate. Best of luck for the rest of the race.
Thank you.
Michael Crusoe, Marcus Ambrose down in pit lane at Gary Rogers Motorsport. Yeah, we love coming down from the Big Island to visit the Apple Isle and see some racing here at Symmons Plains Raceway. Marcus headed up the GRM Draft Combine, which is a little American concept that he's brought here to unpick some young talent and give them some opportunity in GRM's fleet of cars. This is just another look at what was going on through all of this sequence of events. So Nash Morris off the road, and this set up this sequence that's brought us under safety car, buried up there, and then as the boards and flags were flying, 2 cars, the 3-2-1 car, Scatella in front. See top of screen, looking now at the braking zone just past the 100-metre board. They're barrelling up there, and unfortunately there was quite a lot of damage, and that's why we're currently under safety car. Let's head back down to the lane, and that's where we find Molly Taylor.
I've managed to find Paul Morris, whose son Nash is out there. He went a bit wide down at the hairpin. What happened?
Well, he's just stuck in the gravel, but the brakes are basically jammed on. They've got a proportioning valve there that holds a bit of line pressure, and I'd say that's failed. So it's just stuck there with the brakes on, so they can't even really move it unless they drag it up onto the tilt tray. So that's happened before. You just got to get up there and break undo one of the bleeders and let a bit of pressure out, and then it'll roll.
So you get back out there for the next race, but yesterday had a little bit of an off early on, back to 25th, got up to 11th, was up to 7th on the first lap here today. So what's the debrief been like, and what sort of things are you telling him at the moment?
Look, the car speed's there. He just got taken out in the first race, which can happen. That's racing, and then worked his way back up. He was just about to set purple sector there, so shit happens when you go car racing. So if you don't like disappointments, you're in the wrong business.
It's a very good point. Thanks, Paul.
Never holds back as the dude, Paul Morris. His son's super cheap auto car parked down there in the gravel. We're still under safety car here. Race number 2 of the Turtle Wax Trans Am Series continues soon here in Tasmania.
Always good to hear from the dude, never backwards in coming forward. About
where you stand.
Yeah, correct, exactly. A firm understanding. So he talks about a brake proportioning valve, and brakes on a car obviously go to the front wheels and the rear, and in racing cars you can adjust the brakes front to rear. Sometimes you want more front brake to help the car to turn. Sometimes you adjust it to the rear. The front often does a lot of the work in slowing down the cars. But if the proportioning valve jams, especially with the brakes on the on position, and when Nash was driven up the road there into the gravel trap, I guarantee you he would have had 100% brake pressure on to try and stop the car before it got to the gravel, so he didn't end up stuck in the mud like he is now. Unfortunately, the brakes jammed on, so they're going to have to drag that car, if they can, up onto the flatbed to get it out of the way. And meanwhile, everyone else in the field trying to generate some tyre temperature and keep the Control Hoosier tyre that these cars use up to temperature, so when we go back to racing, they can continue to be as aggressive as they have been in the opening couple of laps.
And we saw him punch out the fastest sector of the race, Nash Morris, before that happened, so clearly that was the issue, the brakes on that 67 car. So another race for him this afternoon, which will be the calculation of the points from race 1 and 2 to set the grid for that one. You're in car with Tim Brooke in the Tradie Pad Wall racing car that he ran with the team last year, scoring a pole position and win at Sydney. Went on to have a great round at Mount Panorama at Bathurst. Great run yesterday to pick up the win under safety car. Lap 10 of 22. These laps count behind the safety car. If you're new to watching the Speed Series, National Trans Am Series will take in all the great tracks over the next 7 months. Looking forward to them at Phillip Island. They're always fast around there. There was great racing there in 2021 and looking forward to more of that this year. Molly.
Someone else who's enjoying all the action out there, James Moffat. All the other drivers seem to be in their suits already and you know, getting set for the session. You're still standing on pit lane, just chilling out, watching the action.
What are all those other guys doing? We've still got 50 minutes. It's a bit early to get in the race suit.
So you're starting from grid position 5 today. Massive battle yesterday. What can you do today?
Yeah, hopefully something similar to yesterday would be nice, because that'd set us up well for the final race. So that's a focus for us. Clean start, hopefully pick up a few in the first couple of laps, settle into a good spot and set ourselves up for a good starting spot for the final.
All right, well, best of luck, James.
Thank you, cheers.
Well, I'm joined by the man that started on pole position in the first S5000 race. Mate, we're watching on here, plenty of action in the Trans Ams. Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, loving it. I mean, these cars are a bit different than everything else out there. Big, heavy V8, and they move around a lot, so it's always good to watch. I watched yesterday as well, and there was cars spearing off here, there, and everywhere. So GRM boys are going good, so it's what I'm here to do, support them.
All right, best of luck, mate, for today.
Cheers.
James Golding, superstar for Valvoline GRM. Always good fun to see him at work, and he'll be a contender for S5000, which will be coming your way very shortly. Fastest racing cars in Australia and owners of the outright lap record here at Symmons Plains Raceway. Hopefully not far away from a restart. Turtle Wax Trans Am under safety car AWC Race Tasmania.
We're back in Tasmania, halfway home in the Turtle Wax Trans Am Series. The first round of this Speed Series for season 2022. The car still behind the back of the safety car here as we pick our way through the drama. It's happened down here at Turn 4. We picked it as a hot spot, Richard Craill, but plenty to talk about here as we take a look here at Nathan Hearn, just zooming in at the David Wall car.
This is from the back of Tim Brooke, who was on pole after winning yesterday under safety car. So cold tyres from a rolling start, which is something a little bit different. 525 horsepower at 6,500 RPM, these Trans Am cars. So he went a little bit deep into the hairpin, took the high side. We heard Marcus Ambrose talking about the NASCAR terminology before, tight and loose and things like that, and that opened the door for Nathan Hearn. Side drafting is definitely a thing in these cars. They're a big race car. They move a lot of air, and if you're alongside, you get a little bit of aero assistance. And the braking duel then down here. Now this is huge because he turns the car in but finds that Kyle Gurton's down the inside. So he opened the steering, he corrected his line, and it blew away all of the momentum that he'd built up. And that allowed Ben Grice then to slide his way through. Exciting first lap for Tim Brooke. He went from first to fourth, but gee, it was good fun to watch. Molly Taylor is back down in pit lane.
Well, I've found Josh Buchan, a supreme athlete that you are. Can you just show us your pre-race nutrition? Well, you just, to be fair, put it down on the ground before our interview, then picked it back up. So are you going to eat it?
I will. I got in the 5-second window, so by the time I put it down, you said, no, you're on. So, yeah, it'll dust off fine.
Brilliant. So we're going to need a bit of energy today. Fantastic race yesterday, starting from P7. Bit of work to do to get through the traffic. Are you excited about it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's reverse top 10, so there's some quick guys behind me who qualified me, but there's a few in front who struggled in the race yesterday, so hopefully I can pick them off and hold the quick boys behind.
We'll let you get ready. Good luck.
Thanks, Molly.
I'm joined by Fabian Coulthard. You're as cool as a cucumber, mate. Look at that, you got the jacket on. We had a great battle yesterday, but these guys out on track are all over it.
Yeah, it's interesting just to watch some other racing, and these guys go pretty hard. They don't mind rubbing doors, so it's pretty fun.
What about today? We're going to be back at it again. I've got to come through the field. Are we going to have another nice battle?
Absolutely. I think we had good respect for one another, which is good. Bloody noisy in here, isn't it?
It is, mate. That car's looking great. Are you confident you can move forward in this race?
Yeah, we're going to try. We've tuned it up a little bit just to make it a little bit nicer. Hope we have a little bit less understeer. So if we can do that, hopefully we'll move forward.
All right, mate. Well, thanks for your time, and it's really good to have you on the grid this weekend. We hope you can see a bit more of you.
Yeah, I'd love to. It's been a lot of fun. The stand sport car looks the part. It's been going okay, so hopefully we can come to the next round and take another step forward.
Best of luck, mate.
All right, cheers.
He's really enjoyed his time in Super Cheap Auto TCR competition. He's a welcome addition, Fabian Coulthard, in the second Wall Racing Honda. So we're still trying to retrieve the number 67 car here of Nash Morris, parked down on lap 12 at 22, Krause.
Very civil. We bumped into them at dinner last night, Fabian Coulthard and Michael Crusoe, and they're very civil there, but they had a pretty furious battle in race 1 of Super Cheap Auto TCR yesterday, and I think if that continues, maybe not quite so friendly, because there's some bragging rights on the line between sort of two members of our Stand Sport team, I think.
Yeah, just to point out, they're not teammates this
No.
weekend, but you'd think they were the way they were talking to each other down there. Caruso, of course, who didn't get a lap in qualifying with some steering issues aboard his Alfa Romeo that Lee Holdsworth drove last year. Will have to start from 19th position for the second race later on today here at Symmons Plains. So checkered flag is going to wave. We've approached our time certain point here, so it's going to give a win to Nathan Hearn. Carl Girton, Grice, Brook and Bircher will be the top 5 in this one. Sadly, we can't get that car out in the time or the window allowed, and already feels like he's back at Bathurst with a different car for Nathan Hearn. Won the series when Aaron Seaton parked up with 2 rounds to go. This guy rubbed his hands here and said, yep, it's my time, and he went on to collect victory in the Trico Trans Am Series, and that's a W, the first of many, one would think, for season 22.
He's good at the skids, Nathan Hearn. He won the championship last year, did a massive burnout and drove the winning car straight to the National Motor Racing Museum. Loves it, and the champ back on top in race 2 of Trans Am. Girton and Grice, who gets himself onto the podium, then Tim Brook and Cody Bircher in the 5. Brett Holdsworth gained some ground, so too Lockie Dalton. Eden Thornborough, after a poor qualifying yesterday, is now on the cusp of the top 10. Nick Carroll had dramas yesterday. He's worked his way forward. Would have loved some more racing laps, and McCorkindale from pit lane climbs to 19th place. And we saw dramas for Barber, Scatella, Sutton and Nash Morris. Stuck in the mud up at turn 4. Well done, Nathan Hearn. The opening lap was the money one for him. Brilliant drive out of the hairpin, past the pole man, and from there was never headed in race 2 of Trans Am.
Thank you, Ben Grice, alongside me. 12 months ago, you were here in an Excel. Now you're on the podium in race 2 for Trans Am. Not a lot of laps, but how was it?
Yeah, that's right. It has been a bit of a journey in 12 months. It's all happened pretty quickly, but yeah, look, would have loved to have done that under green, but nevertheless, like, we worked on our car and got some real good people in my corner and Les, and we're just getting better and better and chipping away and got our balance better. We just need a bit more of a short run car there, just with all these safety cars and stuff. So just seems once we get going, it just that's where our speed is. So get that better, and yeah, we'll try and knock them off for the next race.
Good luck, mate.
Cheers.
In second place today was Kyle Girton, the same as yesterday, second again, mate. Not a lot of laps, but you had a lot of fun out there in that battle with Nathan Hearn.
Yeah, dropped back to 3rd for a brief moment there, and managed to get back into P2, which is a good thing. We had the pace on today, but unfortunately that safety car took all race, but awesome car. Like, well, I reckon we're one of the quickest, or if not the quickest car out there with this Dream Racing Mustang. It's bloody on the ball.
We can't wait to see what you can do with it in the next race. All the best.
Thank you.
And our winner is our defending champion, Nathan Hearn. Nathan, that was quite a show for the laps that we got.
Yeah, no, it was good. You know, we're still struggling with the front end of this thing, so it's we made great improvements. I must say, the GRM boys have you know, we scratched our heads overnight and we got the thing cracking. So it's you know, they gave me a good enough car to get to the front. I knew that, you know, I had to start really to do it, so I knuckled down, got the start. I thought Kyle had me for a second there, so I used all the tricks in the book down the back straight to get back at him. So, but yeah, look, I mean, we press on for next race. We got the full tyre bank still to go, so yeah, we'll see how we go.
Mate, you put on a great show. Well done. Enjoy it.
Cheers. Thank you. Cheers.